For me, 2017 was a horrible year for music. Overkill's album was pretty good, Iced Earth's was okay, and LA Guns had a decent album out. Everything else was mediocre to really bad. And unfortunately, Santa Cruz's third album, Bad Blood Rising, falls victim to the same trend. Now, I discovered the first two albums this year, so at least I had those albums to be excited by. But unfortunately, when this album came out, I found myself extremely disappointed. This album is a lot softer and a lot poppier than the two previous albums. You have three or four ballads on here, and then several songs that are a lot more drum and bass driven than they are guitar driven. It just seems like they toned down things a little bit too much for my taste. Now, each of their first three albums sound different from one another. And I do like that. I don't like that a band stays the same or releases the same album twice. So I think the band made a good decision to do something new, although I could have dealt with a self-titled album part two, but that's neither here nor there. It's just unfortunately this album doesn't really work for me. I mentioned in my reviews for the two previous albums that they did not have one bad song on either of their first two albums. This album for me has several bad songs. It lacks the consistency. It lacks that ability to just put it on and listen to it from start to finish without skipping anything or being nauseated by what you're hearing. The production is fine, I suppose. Everyone sounds okay. The playing seems a bit more toned down. I don't really hear any kick-ass guitar solos like in the two previous albums. The vocalist tries a few new things. Some might work, I suppose. Some don't really work for me. At times his voice sounds whiny, but at times he tries to sing in a deeper register, which is kind of interesting. So I do definitely appreciate trying new things. It's just sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. Overall, I just find myself very unimpressed by this album. I really don't like it. Now, the album opens with Young Blood Rising. Now, I've mentioned before how I got into the first two albums. I heard a few songs off of each of them, liked them so much I didn't even bother listening to the rest of each of those two albums. I just went out and bought them same day. That happened because of an article I saw on a website which had a link to the YouTube video for this opening track, Young Blood Rising. I listened to this track. While I thought the chorus was a little bit too repetitive, it wasn't bad, and still overall I enjoyed the song a lot. I really liked the heavy guitar riffs. I thought the band had a great energy. And overall, it ends up being a very nice opening track. It's a little poppy. The intro kind of had me worried, but it ended up being a good enough song that I thought to myself, I gotta check these guys out and see what they're all about. And this song ends up sounding a bit like a leftover from the self-titled album. It could have easily fit on there. Although I'm glad it got put on this album because otherwise I would have pretty much nothing to listen to off of it. It's a really cool song and a really nice way to start off the album. And I will forever be grateful to this song for introducing me to the band. River Phoenix is next, and this is another up-tempo rock song. But I don't like the lyrics, to be honest. I guess River Phoenix is an actor? I'm not a movie person, and I really don't care. The vocals, for the most part, are okay, except when they get to the build-up of the chorus, they start to sound a little whiny. But it's nothing that I can't deal with. But just, I don't know, the lyrics ruined this song for me. What could have been a decent song ends up being ruined by the lyrics. I don't like it. Fire Running Through Our Veins is next. The intro had me worried. The song does pick up the pace and become a more up-tempo rocker. This song is okay. Something about the chorus reminds me of Reckless Love with all the background singers, and something about it kind of bugs me a little bit, but overall it's my second favorite song on the album. It's okay. There's a lyric in it I don't really like. All for none and none for all, or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was they said. I didn't really like the attitude behind those lyrics, but overall it's still an okay song. And then we get to Drag Me Out of the Darkness. Something bugged me about this song right away. It's not a terrible song. It's the first ballad on this album, and there will be several. It's mostly piano based during the verses with some heavier sections during the chorus. It's really not a terrible song, but something about it I just really don't like, and I can't put my finger on it. I can't even say that the lyrics are terrible with this song. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't do it for me. I liked the first two albums hardly having any ballads and being mostly straight ahead rock albums. I liked not having to wait through soft song after soft song to get to a heavier song. But on this album, unfortunately, this is the start of a bad trend. Breathe is next, and it definitely has some similarities to Guns N' Roses' Patience. It's an acoustic song, it's got some whistling behind it. I can't say that the song sounds like it's not sung with passion or anything, but honestly, I can't really get into it. I'm not a big fan of whistling in songs, anyways, except for the aforementioned Patience and Scorpions' Wind of Change, and even then I could deal without the whistling, and those songs would probably be a little bit better. I really don't care for this track. I like acoustic songs, but this one just doesn't work for me, especially after we just had a ballad. Voice of a New Generation is the next song, and this is more of an up-tempo pop rock song, I guess you can call it. It's not very guitar-driven. The verses are mostly drum and bass. This one's alright. The vocals in the chorus, the singer seems to sing in a lower vocal range for the chorus, which is kind of different. Assuming that's him, it could be somebody else, but I think it's probably him. And I definitely appreciate him trying something new there. The song itself is okay. There's a section that sounds like a turntable or something where they're taking like a vocal line and looping it, kind of making it sound like a record that's skipping. I really don't like that aspect to the song. It makes it sound poppier, and I don't know, I don't like that. But otherwise, the song itself is okay. And then there's Back from the Dead. This song's a little bit more of a rock song, but still very, very, very poppy. It could work. The chorus is catchy as fuck, and I am a sucker for a catchy chorus. But, again, the lyrics ruin this one for me. Mainly the line, "Fuck Donald Trump, we want Bernie Sanders." I don't disagree with hating Trump, but did we really need that line? Couldn't you have just said, "Fuck the politicians," or something like that? I mean, why would you date your music like that? When I'm listening to music or watching a TV show, I like to not be reminded of the shit that we're dealing with in the world. And I don't need this in my music. It honestly ruins the track for me. Bad Habits Die Hard. I don't know what the fuck they were doing on this song. I don't like the pacing of it. I don't like the drum beat. I don't like the lyrics. I don't like the chorus. I don't like the melodies. I just don't like anything about this track. This might actually be their worst song I've heard to date. At least the songs that I don't like on this album before this track, they have some redeeming qualities to them. This one just is terrible. I absolutely hate this song. Pure Fucking Adrenaline is next, and this is finally another hard rock song. It's okay. I don't like the line about pissing to mark your territory. I don't really understand what the fuck the point is in that. The guitar riff is kind of annoying until they fill it out as the verses go on. But other than that, it's just an okay song. And the album essentially ends with Get Me Out of California, another acoustic ballad, and this one's, well, a song about California, and frankly, I think there are way too many songs about California. I don't care about this song. Once I saw the title, I already knew I wasn't going to like it. There's a song by a band that's basically one of the lines in this song is "No more California songs," or "We don't want any more California songs," something like that. That's how I feel about this. I have no interest in this track. And then they have a River Phoenix reprise, which is a softer version of the song or something. I don't know. I didn't even listen to it. Overall, this album, in my opinion, isn't very good. I feel like the few songs that had potential, except for the opening track, which was really good, the songs never really jump out and step up to that next level like a lot of the songs on their first two albums. And then there are a lot of songs that just, to me, are dead weight. I really wish they had done something else with this album. But fortunately, the band does seem to change their styles with each release. So hopefully, by the time they release their fourth album, hopefully they've gone in a direction that I appreciate more. I don't like this album. I can't really recommend it to anybody. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. I really only like one song on here, and there are a few others that are okay. I almost feel like a 3 out of 10 might be a little generous considering how much I hate some of the other songs, but I'm going to stick with that.